Hi, it's Vince, and I'm here with Aditya Gao. So he managed to come from India, get sponsorship to study in the UK. Now he's doing a data science job. So yeah, we'll try to look at the journey and figure out how that all happened and how people can do it is one way. So uh, how about you, Aditya? Can you introduce yourself briefly? How you doing?
Yeah, hello Vince. So my journey started in India when I was doing my software job, where I was already in my fourth year of my service period as a senior software engineer, and uh, I was, tired of doing same kind of repeating job, the same type of job every time, every day. So I was looking for a change, and the motivation was I always keen in studying something, innovating something, learning new things. That was my motivation, and of course, my father was one of my, the motivator who always motivate me to do like PhD. And so yeah, so there is the journey that I started in 2013, where I applied for a PhD project and uh, looking for a smart city kind of environment for based on my background experience, which I had in my previous companies. So I applied for that job, and yeah, I got the job because I mean, the, you mean, sorry, I got my sponsorship and for doing my PhD, where I was awarded as VCRS scholarship, which is a vice chancellor scholarship, where we are funded for tuition fees and all our daily expenses. So it's a kind of stipend you get for doing your PhD. So I moved in UK in 2013 and then I almost stayed here for 4 years. So definitely I will motivate people who want to like pursue career in PhD and then looking for change in career, but you need to have a motivation. Doing PhD is not an easy journey. You need to have a commitment because you need to be there for 4 years and like patiently, consistently. And then once you achieve the degree, you will definitely feel proud of that. But that's a long term of commitment required. And yeah, after that, I applied for postdoc positions because I was looking definitely to pursue in the same field, like whatever I learned during my PhD, how I can apply in real world. So there I got like sponsorship from University of Warwick, where I did my postdoc as a research fellow. And I was working there for around 2 years in as that research fellow position, where I've worked in the vehicle domain, like how to improve the user driving experience in vehicle domain. So worked on different kind of criterias, different like areas in vehicle domain to drive some intelligent and useful information that can help like the user and like assist him in getting some intelligent and useful information to the vehicles. So that was my first postdoc and my second sponsorship. And then I got my another sponsorship from NETS, which is in aerodynamics. And so currently it works in the field of air traffic management. So they have the proprietary softwares which manages all the airspaces. So yeah, I joined recently here and as a data scientist, so I'll be working now from vehicle domain to the airspace domain. So that's my journey from my research senior engineer from telecommunication field to data science senior analyst in data science field.
Right. Yeah. So we actually worked together at Warwick Uni. I was doing similar stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, like how difficult was it to get your first sponsorship? It was Ulster University, was that right?
Yeah. So I won't say it was difficult because I applied for the position and I gave the interview to the panel and they were happy with my application. So they were happy to like.
Sorry, yeah, we were disturbed. So I had to pause the video. Sorry, carry on, Aditya. So you said it wasn't too difficult. You applied for the
Yeah.
sponsorship. from the university?
Yeah, so I applied for the PhD position, and my interview was good, so they were happy to sponsor me. And the only thing that I have to give was my IELTS score before getting the confirmation on my acceptance of the scholarship, which was not that difficult. So I won't say it's difficult when you're coming to study over here. It's just you need to find out the right project which is suitable for your position and what you like it to do. Because people don't want to study, I mean, especially if they want to come here, because I've seen people, they get the sponsorship as well without the study visa as well. So definitely, I don't know about the truth. I mean, I've seen some people, they directly get the sponsorship, but for my case, I applied for the project which I like it, and then they sponsored me for that project.
Okay, cool. Wasn't too bad. That's cool. All right. So then you did your PhD at Ulster University, finished that up, and then
Yeah.
how much time did you have after that to get the next thing? So you said you had 4 years total, right?
Yeah. So I gave my PhD final viva before my 4th year of visa expiry. And yeah, then I moved back India for some period of time to do family circumstances. And yeah, and then I applied here in November 2017 at the University of Warwick. And yeah, I mean, so I didn't wait for too long to get another sponsorship. It's just the right project need to be there. So I waited for that thing.
Okay. So you didn't apply for like a lot of different positions and sponsorships?
So I mean, when I was applying for jobs in UK, especially UK, because in India it's easy to get without any sponsorship thing,
Sure.
but in UK you need to have a sponsor, and most of the jobs that you can apply and come from India to UK is you need to have a sponsor. And I've seen mostly universities are the major sponsors.
Okay.
Through them you can come to UK.
Okay. Right. And so I think so that was 2013, 2017, and so you didn't have a lot of time afterwards. So I think in the UK it's changing now, where you can have, I think it's 2 years after a master's. So you still have the visa, you don't need any additional sponsorship. 2 years after your master's, or 3 years after a PhD, I think, if you're an international student.
So, so I know about my situation. I think they are changing it right now. But
Okay.
I'll tell you about my situation.
Sure.
It was
Yeah.
a tricky thing at my time. So they initially grant like 4 years of Tier 4 student visa. And then after 4 years, you can do 1 year of post PhD thing kind of.
Okay.
But the tricky or the one thing that you have to notice after 4 years is you need to pay everything. You need to pay the full visa fees for a year, and that definitely cost you a lot. And even in the current scenario, the visa fees and are really very expensive things. So yeah, and at my time when I applied, I don't have the, they have the NHS surcharges, but right now they have added that as well.
Right, yeah.
So it costs a lot when you come to visa for, or if you apply for a student visa even for 4 years. So as far as I remember, for PhD they give 1 year of post work kind of thing, and for masters I think it's for 3 months or 4 months. I can't recall it, but yeah, that is what they used to give at my time in 2017. But right now they are changing the rules, I assume.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so didn't give you a long time. So then, okay, so you got sponsorship at Warwick University to do a postdoc,
Yeah,
and so that's 2 years.
yeah.
And so wait, you were tier 4, was that with your PhD?
So yeah, study visa was tier 4
Tier 4, and then you said tier 2
to journal.
for general. So
After,
that
yeah,
PhD, sorry, postdoc, for example, and then
yeah. So after study, all the work is on tier 2 journal.
okay, cool. And so, how long did that last? Did you say 2 years?
Yeah. So
Right.
the Warwick one lasted for 2 years as a tier two general visa, and
Okay.
now again it's the tier two general visa only, but that is from this company sponsor.
Okay. So how long do you have to keep doing this sponsorship thing? Keep getting these
Uh,
visas.
Really, it needed, I think, as long as you are working in UK. But right now, the rule is after 5 years, you can apply for ILR, which is indefinite leave to remain,
Right.
or
Okay.
after 6 years, you can apply for your British passport kind of thing, or like long-term stay thing.
Right.
But you need it till 5 years on the same visa in order to get the ILR, where you can take any kind of job without any sponsor.
Okay. That reminds me of my coming to the UK. So I came when I was a kid with my family from South Africa. Uh, then it was legal to do a holiday visa. So we got a little holiday visa, and then we got a 5-year visa for ancestry. So my father's side of the family, some of them were born in the UK, and the rest of us were dependents.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we had to get out before my sister was 18. And then after that, then we got applied for indefinite leave to remain. And then a little while later, the citizenship we could apply.
Yeah.
So, I didn't do the legal stuff myself. I was just a kid, so I didn't really understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not
It's
that
cool to do.
difficult I think if you have the uh, right kind of visa. And one more thing I would like to add here is like if you have a dependent on your current visa, like for my case, like they can work any kind of job, so there is no restriction on their
Okay,
kind of culture.
right,
So
yeah,
they can take any kind of employment. The restriction is on me till I am on the tier two general visa.
okay. Uh, does that include starting a business?
Yes,
Okay,
she can.
cool,
I mean, like your dependent can do any kind of work. She has no
nice.
restriction. So only
Okay,
me, till I am on tied to general thing, I can't do anything for long.
okay. You gotta wait. If you want to change, you gotta wait till ILR. Definitely leave to
Yeah,
remain.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah. So let me see. And so now you're working in aerospace, and like, what was the process you took to get that job, for example?
So I applied my this job using jobs.ac.uk website,
Okay,
and so I was looking on the LinkedIn as well and various other portals. So these two were the main, like LinkedIn and jobs.ac.uk. So most of the like university jobs are advertised, especially and the company jobs.
sure.
So yeah, I applied through that, and this job was interesting for me because they were working something which I was already working on.
Yeah,
So that was a part of motivation for me to apply on this job role.
excellent. Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah. So okay. Cool. So what sort of skills do you use in your job now? Like,
So right now um, we use Python. So I was using a bit of Python when I was working at the University of Warwick on my postdoc job role, but that was not that extent. I was using MATLAB for most of my programming, but Python was for few of the tasks, the byproducts that I use for my MATLAB thing. But right now, everything is on Python. So all the coding and everything is on Python, and then use data science thing. So right now we are not using any models. We are using the proprietary, their airspace models. So we are implementing that. And yeah, and yeah, mathematics is the core of everything. Coding everything in mathematics. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So your first degree, that was computer science, was it? Bachelor's.
No, my first degree was in electronics and communication.
Right. Sorry.
Then my master's is in communication.
Okay.
My PhD is in data science.
Yeah. And you worked in telecoms just before your PhD, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I
Okay.
worked into major telecommunication companies. First one was Qualcomm, which was in chipset designing and chipset manufacturing. And the other one was Broadcom. The two was in chipset thing. So I was in protocol test confirmation team where we test different functionalities of the SIM aspects. So I was the part of that team during my like telecommunication engineer. Yeah.
Okay. So how much experience did you say you had before getting the visa?
I was having around 4 years of experience
Okay.
before coming to the PhD.
Okay. I think that's like a good place to start. I think coming to the UK, you've got 4 years experience. You've been working for international companies. That's a really good place. And then you say
Yeah.
universities are major sponsors. I think a lot of
Yeah. I
people do
mean,
that.
when you apply for companies, even after doing my PhD, so wherever you give your interview, they will ask you the work experience and they will check your qualities in terms of like how quickly you can fit in a team, how you behave when you are working in a team, how do you
Sure.
motivate yourself. So these are the questions they are asked when you apply for a job role. And I think that really helped me when I was, based on my experience as a telecommunication engineer. So I was working in a team culture, so I had a pretty fair idea like how does it works. So my overall experience counts in the software field as well as in like a university kind of field as well. So I have a kind of mixed experience. So it's not easy for me to visualize like when I'm working in a company how the environment is, or when I'm working in a university how the environment is. So yeah,
Okay. So I guess there's a lot of programming in data science, and so there's a lot of overlap, right? And
yeah,
yeah, so I'm sure, yeah, your experience before working for companies helped get your current
yeah,
job. Is that right? Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. So let me think. Yeah. So did you? Yeah. So like we're recording this in lockdown, and did you find that it was particularly difficult finding a job in lockdown, or are there not many jobs display? Job adverts. Yes.
So I applied for this job role way back before the lockdown.
Oh, I
So,
see. Okay.
but when this lockdown started, everything got freezed, and that affected me as well as a part of my joining process in the company. Uh, so my joining was delayed for some time because of this lockdown period.
I see.
But what I was seeing after the lockdown started, like a lot of the companies started freezing their vacancies, and so they have stopped recruiting any new people after this lockdown began. And yeah, so I think definitely the lockdown has a major impact on the recruiting process right now.
Okay.
And I'm seeing like even in this current company, um, they have freezed the recruitment process, and it's been followed everywhere around the world, I think.
Yeah. Global.
Yeah,
Okay. So, but yeah, fortunately, you managed to get this job, and
yeah,
so yeah, of course, you're currently working remotely, isn't that right? Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I'm currently working
Sure.
remotely. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, before you did your PhD, you were looking to make a change. It was a bit repetitive. So, how do you feel about your job now? Your working life. How is that?
Um, I mean, in terms of before doing my PhD and right now, there is a big difference because before doing my PhD, I was a bachelor and now I'm a married person with a kid. So
Sure.
definitely it's a big change for me. And in terms of work environment, so I mean, after the lockdown, I didn't get a chance to be in company to work like that. But yeah, definitely it's a good culture. And so I have been regularly meeting with my teammates daily. And yeah, it was a really good interaction doing and like talking to them and, that was a really big thing and a big change for me from that aspect. Yeah. And I think this is something similar which I feel when I was working before joining my PhD. So we had the same. So every morning we go office. So we sit together, take breakfast, go for tea together. So that was a good culture that I missed during the whole period, during PhD period. I missed that thing. But yeah, I think I'm going to resume once this lockdown lifted up. Yeah, and everybody back to office.
Excellent. And do you enjoy the work more?
I don't really mind working more as long as it is interesting and motivating me. So when something like it's feel good to me, like it's something interesting that I'm learning, especially like I'm keen towards data science and mathematics, and that's been a favorite subject for me from past. So whenever something challenges and something like motivates me, I mean, I can work as long as I never feel tired doing that kind of work. So
Nice.
that always motivated me because what I felt during my whole journey is like if I have something to work on and something is challenging me, I never feel, you know, like uh, never feel like if I'm like step down or something like that. So if there is something challenging in front of me, it always motivates me to go forward, work forward, and then resolve it. So yeah,
Okay. So you're enjoying the challenges of the data science.
yeah, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, cool.
I mean,
Nice.
as you are also part of data science culture, and you really know it. Like every day when you see internet and Google it, you will find new things on data science.
Yeah,
It
sure.
never it never stop amazing you like how people are doing same thing different way. And yeah, so
New things.
I've been working on data science from quite long, but I mean, like every day I find something new on internet, and yeah, that's the
Sure.
part of motivation. Yeah, how does it keep yourself, going on?
Yeah. Yeah, there's always new stuff to learn in data science, right? And there's always exciting stuff happening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
cool. Yeah, right. So, like, can you say, like, maybe the best thing that advice that you can give to somebody trying to start out on your journey, like trying to get into data science, and especially if they want to get into the UK, what advice would you give?
Yeah, so definitely, I mean, like if someone is willing to come to UK to work in a data science field, they should, first thing is that they should give the hand-on experience on some data science projects that really help them as well. And it helps the recruiter as well to understand like what kind of a skill set the person has when they apply for a particular job role. And when I talk about my journey is quite long because I did study as well. So that's a 4 year of commitment before joining any data science company. So I think if someone has still some fire left inside of doing something amazing and, uh, giving a 4 year of commitment to study, I definitely motivate them to go for it. And if not, then apply for a project, start working on data science projects, then start applying on the companies. Let's see how does they check on you. Because if you have some hand-on experience on data science project, that really helps the recruiter to check on your skill set and get to know your idea. Because I mean, during the journey, I learned anybody can code it. A 10-year-old kid can code small for loop, if loop, and it's not a big deal. The only thing that they check is how intelligently you visualize a scenario or the problem and how you can solve it. So that's the challenge you need to accept and you need to learn during the during the whole period.
Right. Excellent. So, would you advise somebody looking for sponsorship to get into the UK? Would you advise them to go for a PhD or masters, or just try to look for a company to sponsor them?
So as I said, I'll say them if they want to do PhD, if they have interest in studying more,
Okay.
then go for PhD. But if you are and you are interested in going for a company or sponsorship, thing. And then for that purpose, you are going for a tier 4 or a student job role. It's not easy because there is no guarantee, like even after 4 years of your PhD study, that you will definitely get a sponsorship or job in UK. And I've seen so many people which are working and which work when I was doing PhDs that they didn't get the job in UK and they are working back in India. So it's not a guarantee that you will definitely get job after 4 years. But if that thing motivates you, go for PhD. And if you only want to apply for like work kind of thing in UK, I won't suggest you to go for PhD. Just look for some companies which might sponsor you directly from your first degree course or like master's course directly into the job. Because there are some companies, big companies, which applies and which sponsor you. They don't look for the PhD you want. So I think you have to look on that route as well.
Okay. So, like, who can sponsor a person in the UK? So the companies.
It's really difficult to say, but if you check online these job sites which advertise different jobs, they can mention if they can sponsor you or not.
Okay.
So on their job listing, they have clearly have a like mention this thing while they're applying for the job, or when you click on the and you go into the website, you can get more information, detailed information, and you can check with them that if they are happy to sponsor it, because some of them don't advertise it, and once you apply it and they come back to you, they ask you like, what's your visa work status? So that's the way, like you just check with the company if they can sponsor you or not. If they have not given it, they will come back to you if they like your profile and they will check with you, because really if they are interested in you and if they can sponsor it, they will do that. But they won't, they can't boycott the rule that they will employ you without, on the wrong channel. They won't do that. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, thanks. I think that's been very informative. So, how could a person like connect with you, contact you online? Could they?
Yeah, I mean, they can contact me on LinkedIn if they like. So
Okay.
I am happy to help them out if they need any information, which I have. Happy to help them. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So your name is Aditya Gawa. Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, thanks very much for that. That's really helpful. Cheers, Aditya. Yeah, I'll end the recording.